How about it?
Bill, Coach K said yesterday he wants the NCAA to assess where we are amid all the cancellations. Are you okay with the way things are going, playing amid the spike?
I actually am. I'm not saying that basketball in any way, shape, or form is more important than public health or anything like that. But I mean, the precautions that we do and the protocols that we have, I would think would be in many ways far safer than if we weren't playing and just turning the guys loose. Because it would be hard to have protocols like this if there's no actual games. So, you can look at it from one perspective, and I'm certainly not in total disagreement in what he said, because I watched it and I do think there's some things about it that could make you wonder about some things, but I also think there's been a lot of safety measures that have taken that a lot of people have attempted to do, and nobody bats 1,000. And of course, there's been some unfortunate cancellations and things like that. But I would think that they would be much, much higher if we didn't have all these protocols in place and if we weren't playing games, at least from our own team's perspective.
Hey, Coach, you have the two games this weekend, and then you jump into Big 12 play. Is there anything or any things that you really like about this team, and then anything you want to see tightened up a little bit?
Well, yeah, there's a lot of things I like about them, and there's a lot of things I want to see tightened up. So I actually think we compete pretty hard. I think we've done some pretty nice things. I think like the game against Creighton, we won that game. And in all honesty, when you watch the tape, Jalen and Christian had big games, but other than that, we were just okay. But we still found a way to win. But I think we can play smarter. I think we can share the ball more. I think our ball screen defense can certainly get better, and that's on me because I got to figure out how we want to guard, because we certainly changed against Creighton, but it didn't really hurt us a ton. But we got to become more aggressive on ball screen defense. I told our guys after film that you watch that, and guys, we're not that far off from being pretty good. But we just got to be able to tighten a few things up and play a little bit smarter.
Hey, Bill, I was wondering, when it comes to DeJuan, it seemed like Creighton kind of ignored him a little bit. Are there things you guys can do offensively beyond him just making shots? Well,
he's not going to take Scott. He's not going to take many shots. I mean, that's the one shot he did take. It was really not fair because he had just subbed in, and they left him wide open at basically at 10 feet, and he shot and missed a good three. So that could happen. But the biggest thing that he does is create energy defensively and be a good ball mover. And so I hate to say this, but we're not going to change how we play to accommodate Juan offensively. What we can probably do is try to get better ball and body movement as a group. And one thing about it, when somebody's not pressuring you, that gives you vision. So and there's you don't feel any resistance to get the ball moving. So in a lot of ways, I think the way that people may play him or play Marcus at times, I think should play to our favor, because it should allow us to be better ball movers without much resistance. And that's just something we haven't done very well yet.
Bill, what you have had happen in all 6 games is one or two guys come off the bench to make contributions, sometimes significant contributions, and it's usually different guys. Can you speak to that? And, is that any different than what you've had in other years?
You know what? I don't know that it's different. We could go back and look at all our teams, and you could say, hey, Jamari Traylor gave us great energy off the bench, or whoever it would be. Last year it could be Christian Brown or Isaiah, whoever was starting and not starting. I mean, we've had some guys, or David McCormick last year, Mitch Lightfoot in other years. But I do think that we need to play the bench more. I think that'll happen as I get maybe a little bit more confidence, but I think we need to play the bench more. I thought Bryce gave us some good minutes, but really the best producer off the bench yesterday was Tristan. In the minutes he played, he graded out higher than anybody. So that was off the bench. So, I'm fine with it being different guys from time to time. But certainly I don't think it's a lot different than what it has been, Dave, to be honest. We just have more guys we're trying to play, but I think we've always had some guys come off the bench that's provided sparks.
It seems like you say that kind of same thing about Mitch. When even if he only plays 3 or 4 minutes, you like the minutes he's been giving you. Is this the role you envision for him?
No, I envision him playing more, and he probably needs to. I think that he's I think he's done well. He hadn't had many opportunities, but Mitch was in the game the other day, and we're +7 with him in the game. He only plays 4 minutes, so that told me that our team actually did some good things when he was in the game. So, those are the things that I think that we need to probably play more. I'm not saying how we need to play because I think each game kind of dictates it differently. But in this particular game, we decided to play, a big, the vast majority of the time. And I'm not saying it's going to stay that way consistently. I feel comfortable with Jalen being in there as our big without question. But I don't think this team will go near as far as we potentially could unless David and Mitch have good years for us.
Mitch he can give you good outings without putting anything in a stat column, can't he? I mean, isn't he that type of player?
Well, I think Mitch has kind of always been a high energy guy. I mean, he didn't get the term or nickname Prison Mitch because he was scoring 15 a game. I mean, just energy and blocking shots and being bouncy and those things. I think that's what he's got to bring to the table.
Can you give us a little insight on Omaha? And, we may not get any more avail, so Tarleton, whatever you know about them.
Yeah, I don't really know much about Billy's group. I haven't started breaking it down. We've Norm's got that scout, and he's got, I think he's got it done. But I think I'm not sure, but they may be 2-1 now. They lost to Abilene Christian and had a couple of other pretty decisive wins. But I really shouldn't comment on that. But I know Billy will have it ready. But tomorrow's game, we've got plenty of film to watch. We played 6 games, or 2 and 4. They got 2 really good wins, both away from home, and the only common opponent is Creighton, and Creighton got them pretty good. But we played them a couple of years ago. Wasn't it the year before last? So it's been December. So it's been 3 years since we played them, and they're a much improved team since then. So I like them. Their big guy can play. I mean, he's the load. You can't move him, and he's skilled offensively, and Ruffin, the guy that came off the bench, I believe, last year for him and was 6th man of the year in the league. He can score the ball, and they got guys that can shoot it and everything. So they're a dangerous team, we just got to go out and we got to make people feel uncomfortable. That was the thing about Creighton, that our defense wasn't awful, but we didn't make them feel us. And I think a large part because they got 4 guards out there, and it's hard to pressure 4 guards and a 5-man that's really a 3.5 that can really run and jump. So this Omaha is actually much more of a traditional team than what we're used to playing thus far. So I think it'll be good for us to see if we can kind of dictate the pace.
Hey, speaking ahead to Sunday, speaking ahead to Sunday, did you ever think that you'd be able to coach against Billy again? Pretty wild deal.
Well, I did, obviously, when he was at A&M, and I thought we would probably at Kentucky, but the Champions deal wasn't started yet, and obviously we did at Tech, and then he's at Ranger and junior college, and I didn't think so then, but and I didn't plan on coaching against him this year. I mean, this was a game that we scheduled strictly because of the COVID stuff and the schedule changing. So I'm just happy we got a game, and I'm happy it fit in our schedule in the time slot. And I know he'll give us some things that to have to go against that will help prepare us for our league. I think both these 2 games are important for us for our league. hopefully improve on some things and have some momentum. But yeah, I'm glad we're playing them. I'm thankful that we're just playing games, to the point of what we talked about earlier. There's a lot of schools out there not playing games right now, so we're thankful that we've been able to do so.
You guys go way back. Are there similarities between what he does and what you do and your styles? And
I think there used to be. I think that there's probably not as much now. I think our core philosophy is probably very similar, as far as what we think wins, but how he goes about getting to that point is probably a little bit different than what we do offensively. He's a guy that believes strong in, make others beat you, don't beat yourself, and certainly always be the aggressor, regardless of the situation. And his teams have always been really good at that.
Hey, Bill, dropping the big man more on ball screen defense. What did you think about that against Creighton?
I didn't like it at all. But our deal is that Bishop was so good at getting out of dribble handoffs, ball screens, and pinch post handoffs that we felt like if we ever helped up, they could throw over because we couldn't tag him because Bollock was the roll-up guy 90% of the time. So we decided to take something away. So we tried to take the lob away, which we did, except for a bad first possession, and we tried to take the shake action away, which we did. So what hurt us was him being able to snake us a few times. And they still scored points off their ball screen offense, but it wasn't close to what I was concerned about. So that's why we did it in that particular game. I can't see that being anything that we try to continue to do a lot moving forward.
Terminology wise, would you call that drop coverage?
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, you could call it that. We iced it and we dropped. But basically, yeah, you could call it that.
And then, go ahead, Gary.
No, go ahead.
Yeah, this is kind of a weird one, but you've won a lot of games, obviously, over your career. Does it feel any different now, maybe the personal fulfillment you take from wins, just when you're in an empty gym, there isn't that energy during a game for you as a coach? Does it feel any different?
I don't think that I've got my, juices flowing by crowds and things like that. I think everybody has. But as far as really, when you really break it down as far as what coaches enjoy, they enjoy their team playing well. They enjoy their team competing at the most key moments. They enjoy, how you kind of figure it out or how you move pieces around, those sorts of things. And then, of course, what you really enjoy is the win. But I enjoy the wins, I think, close to as much, maybe not quite as much, being in front of whatever number of fans than I would if it was a packed house, me personally. Now, is it as much fun during the game, feeling the energy and all those things? I'd say no. But the pure enjoyment of winning a game and what really kind of drives us, yeah, I would say I still enjoy them comparable. Now, there's nothing like the OU game or West Virginia or Missouri or, a Elite Eight game. There's nothing quite like that, but going on right now. But I still take great pleasure out of getting your team to play a certain way and play tough regardless of the situation.
Got time for a couple more.
Speaking of tough, Coach, where is this team 6 games in on your toughness meter? Are you happy on how they're trending there?
I think from a competitive standpoint, Dave, I think I'm okay with it right now. I really am from a competitive standpoint. From a production standpoint, do we miss rebounds? Do our bigs not play to their size? Has there been some things like that have hurt us that I would say is part of that toughness thing? Yeah, I'd say absolutely. We'd probably grade out a B overall. But I do like how we've competed at game point, at least knock on wood so far, as far as, rebounding the ball, being undersized or whatever, or having to get stops, for the most part on key possessions. I think we've done okay in those areas. Basketball is a lot like tennis in this way. And I say this, I haven't said it this year, but I said it to my team. There's more important points to win in tennis than other points. I mean, if you get a chance to break serve, you got to win that point because you don't get those many opportunities. And it's the same thing in basketball. If you're down 3 with 4 left, you have to get stops. Those are the most important things going on. And so that's where I kind of come with. Although it all adds up the same, but I think we're learning how to be tougher in the most crucial moments.
Hey, overall, how do you think your guys have done just defending around the rim?
Not very good. I mean, we don't block shots, and I mean there was a time against Creighton they get a reverse pivot backdoor layup where CB gets beat, and there's absolutely nobody to challenge. I mean, nobody. I don't think our rim protection has been very good at all. So those are things I know that we can tighten up and be better at. So. Tyon against North Dakota State was probably our best rim protector. And that shouldn't happen with the 6'5" guard.
On the Coach K thing, a lot of what he was talking about was the mental health of his players or whatever. Do you feel good about your guys? I mean, is just playing good for them mental health wise?
Oh, I think so. I do. I think, being off the whole summer, going through what everybody went through last year with the cancellation of the tournament, being away from each other all summer for the most part, coming back. I'm not saying it's perfect by any stretch, but I think if we take it away, I also don't think that would be the greatest thing either. The problem that you could have though, from a mental health standpoint is, we made the decision as of now to let our guys go home for Christmas. And even though from making sure we play games, I'm not sure that who knows what the correct formula is, but I'm not sure if that's best for mental health, because you ask guys to be in a bubble basically for 5 months, which we have. I mean, they're basically bubbled up. And then you're saying, and you can't see your family for Christmas. I think then problems could really start to occur in what you were talking about around late January or early February. So we have made the decision. I think most other schools are doing the same thing to try to educate families and hope for the best in certain situations. So, even though it's probably not the safest thing for today, I think it's better for long term.
All right, Coach, thank you.
Thanks, guys.